Hey everyone, before we get into the news, I wanted to announce that I am over on Threads at Morris T. Merrier. That's Morris T. Merrier. Give me a follow, please. We'll continue the discussion over there. I'm also over on X at Morris Merrier. So Threads, Morris T. Merrier, X, Morris Merrier. So according to The Hill, the New Jersey's governor race between Representative Mikey Sherrill, the Democrat, and former state assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli is tied, according to a poll released Thursday. The Emerson College polling / The Hill survey found that both Sherrill and Ciattarelli received 43% support, with a separate 11% undecided, underscoring how the race has tightened in the final stretch before the November election. So this is New Jersey. This is a blue state. This state has not gone red. And yet somehow, holy cow, the Republican and the Democrat are tied. What's going on here? There are a lot of conservatives talking about this idea of, oh, we might get a red New Jersey soon. There were some people who were kind of hinting at the idea that Biden could have lost New Jersey if he had stayed in the race in 2024 against Trump, that he would have just embarrassed himself so badly after that debate that people in New Jersey wouldn't have turned out to vote for him on the Democratic side, but all the Republicans would turn out to vote for Trump, and that Biden wouldn't drive enough turnout. So yeah, there has been talk about New Jersey shifting red, but a Republican governor, really? I mean, they had Chris Christie, but the state seems to have gotten more blue since then, actually. So the poll, which was released days after the first debate between the two candidates, is sure to raise alarms for Democrats who are looking to beat back a Republican effort to flip the governor's mansion after President Trump made inroads in the state last year. It also comes despite Democrats seeing a number of high-profile special election victories in red states this year, most notably Iowa. Yeah, that was huge. That was huge. So look, it's possible for traditionally red-seeming states to turn blue, but also blue-seeming states to turn red. So New Jersey, New Hampshire is also one that's talked about in this way, that they could flip in a red direction. Now, I don't want to see it, but this is concerning for Democrats. And yeah, Cory Booker has said he's campaigning for Sherrill. Yeah, keep going out there and campaigning, making the case, because if Democrats lose New Jersey, that's a pretty bad sight. That's a pretty bad omen for things to come. So Spencer Kimball, executive director of Emerson College Polling, noted in a press release that Sherrill performs better with women voters, while the former New Jersey assemblyman Jack Ciattarelli performs better among men. Of course, that's not surprising. The ever-present gender divide among voters, men just going, oh, I'm going to vote Republican because Republicans are for men, and women going, I'm voting Democratic because Democrats are for women. Now, obviously, you shouldn't vote for either party solely based on your gender. But yeah, the Democratic Party does need to do a little bit better at telling men that the Republicans don't really give a damn about them. They don't really care about their best interests, generally speaking. And so it's mostly just vibes that drives men to vote Republican, trying to seem tough and cool and feeling like, oh, Democrats hate me, even though Democrats don't hate them. So a stark gender divide emerges among Garden State voters. Women break for Sherrill by 10 points, 46-36, while men break for Ciattarelli by 12 points, 51-39. The Emerson College polling executive director said, notably, women are over twice as likely to be undecided at 15% compared to 6% of men. That's interesting. I do feel like there are a lot of men who are like, I'm like apolitical, and a lot of women are actually more motivated, but here we're seeing the opposite. So Sherrill performs better among voters below the age of 50. Ciattarelli performs better with those aged 50 years and older. That's the old stereotype the right talks about, like, oh, when you get older, you're going to become more right-wing, you're going to realize how the world works, that you want to keep your money and not have it taxed by the government. And it's like, okay, taxes pay for all sorts of stuff in society. And we're not really talking, when Democrats talk about raising taxes, they're rarely talking about raising taxes on people who aren't extremely rich. Quote, young voters under 40 break for Sherrill by large margins, 58-24, explained Kimball, adding the race tightens to 7 points among voters in their 40s, with Sherrill leading 47% to 40%. Then Ciattarelli flips the script among voters over 50, leading Sherrill 52% to 36% among this group. I would be tempted to say that Ciattarelli is doing well among the boomers, but being over 50 doesn't actually make you a boomer anymore. 50 is, you're born in either 1974 or 1975 right now. So that is solidly in the Gen X territory. Baby boomers ended at 64. The Republican candidate has leaned in on the issue of affordability as he seeks to pull off an upset victory, focusing in particular on soaring electricity bills in the state. Yeah, who can blame him for that, really? Who can blame him for that? Talk about affordability if all else fails. I mean, even, plenty of progressives do it. Zoran Mamdani does it. So Republicans are, of course, going to do it. They're going to probably try and harken back to the Biden years and be like, remember how things were so unaffordable under Biden? Which, I got news for them. Most stuff is not more affordable under Trump. Most stuff is actually more unaffordable under Trump. Hear about how coffee has gone up 26% in price. So New Jersey Democrats blame utility companies for the cost of utilities at 36%, whereas Republicans blame Governor Murphy at 36%. Independents are split between the governor and utility companies. Kimball said other issues such as property taxes and education have also become flashpoints. New Jersey is one of 2 states that chooses its governor this fall, with the other being Virginia. The New Jersey and Virginia elections will be seen as indicators for the general mood of the country and its attitudes towards both parties ahead of the 2026 midterms, though candidate quality will also play a key role. That is right. Don't run a bad candidate. Don't run a joke of a candidate. Primaries are for vetting out your candidates. So will Democrats win in Virginia? I could see that too. I could see that too after Glenn Youngkin, Trump is in power. But if New Jersey is tied, then what really could happen in Virginia? Glenn Youngkin won in Virginia in 2021 during Biden, and he screeched about problems in education and anti-white bias and stuff like that, and critical race theory. He really slammed the drum on that, and it actually drove out a lot of voters that were like, oh yeah, no, this is really compelling. I'm really scared about critical race theory being taught in schools and men and women's bathrooms or something like that. So make no mistake, Republicans can be talented campaigners in some of these states, in off years, but so can Democrats. They won Iowa, and that's a red state. It's probably not going back to the blue column anytime soon. Sorry, Ann Salzer poll. Kamala Harris was not going to win Iowa by 3 points. So yeah, let me know what you think about these polls and these results. Well, not election results, but poll results in the comments below. Please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Threads at Morris T. Marrier, and I look forward to speaking to you in my next video.